Yet, consider this. Do you remember when people used to operate elevators? Well, those people are gone now. When you press 18, the elevator takes you right to that floor. When people used to operate it, they couldn't quite control the elevator and get it to stop exactly at the floor level. Today, all that's been, people have been phased out. And I say that people cannot handle more than 7 different things mentally. They can walk, drink a cold drink, a sandwich, and talk to their friends. But when it's over 7 different things, they have difficulty. If computers can handle 1,000 trillion bits of information per second, you know, they used to have a fan boy in the early days that cooled off the cable. Today the fan boy's gone, they have air conditioning. You know what I mean? It isn't that the air conditioning machine took over. It's been assigned a different task. So when I talk of an automated government, I mean to replace those bits of information that people can't handle. For example, politicians don't know how to solve problems. Don't take my word for it. Just ask any politician, how would you prevent automobiles from hitting one another? They usually say, I don't know. How can you increase the agricultural yield without exhausting the soil? I don't know. But what do they know? What can they do? When you pick a house in the future, if you check with a computer, if you want a balcony, say, sticking out 12, 10 feet or 8 feet, if the computer will suggest 12 feet, you can have a dining area out there. The computer does not override you, it merely suggests.
Right. Well, I mean, it's just like you said, like the setting on your air conditioning. That doesn't mean there's this evil overlord determining what your temperature is. It just means that there's a regulated system that's taking care of those things.
When the ship is sinking, women and children first. We don't do that. We say, do you know anything about navigation? Get on the boat. Do you know how to catch fish in the open sea? Get on the boat, then women and children. Otherwise, they'll all starve to death. When they say to me, I don't like to experiment on animals. I think that's not right. Well, what do you suggest we do with a new injection for infantile paralysis? What do you suggest? Well, I don't know. Now, what are you talking about? Well, unless you can suggest something, deal with the problem. Do you understand? They show some robots flying in airplanes. You don't want a robot, you want controls to move automatically. You don't need a guy there working the controls. If you go to a coffee company that's automated, you put it in nickel or 50 cents in the machine and you select what coffee you want. You press the button and it makes different types of coffee. Well, that's the same with the future. You don't have a robot standing there boiling coffee and taking the packet. That's in the movies. That gave people the wrong idea. You don't want a robot walking here and says, what would you like for breakfast? You want a machine to produce what you like on the table you're at. You don't need a robot bringing you the fucking coffee or pushing vacuum cleaner. It's all ass backwards. That's normal people, Hollywood. They call them Hollywood hacks that know nothing about the future. They say, I believe in nature. Nature's harmonious. Every big fish is eating every smaller fish. Every organ in your body is fighting constantly, invading bacteria. Is that what you mean by harmony? There are planets that are exploding out there. What's the purpose of that? What's the purpose of floods? To drown people? In other words, if you start looking for purpose, you've got to look all over, take in the whole picture. So man projects his own values into nature. Nothing I talked about was against anybody. I didn't want to kill anybody, hurt anybody, put anybody in jail. There are no prisons, no police, no armies, no navies in this system. Because people have access to whatever the hell they need. You can go to the watch center and check out a watch, any kind you like. Free, without payment or obligation. I said, well, where are you going to get the money to give out all that stuff? It costs $50,000 to keep a kid in jail a year. You know how many watches I would buy? It's cheaper to give them a watch. Give them blue jeans, whatever the hell they need. The stupidity of this culture is unbelievable. Okay? I'm talking about the United States and all other societies. I'm not holding it. None of them are any good. Communism, social, don't know what to do.
They're even thinking of terraforming other planets, making Mars livable and the Moon livable. I'm against that because the Earth is falling apart. We're poisoning the air, the oceans, the rivers, the streams. What we have to do is clean up the Earth first. Stop thinking of terraforming other planets. You can't move collective civilization to other planets. It's an impractical artificiality at this time. Let's take care of the Earth and prevent it from falling apart.
And the young kid got up and said, I dislike your system intensely. I said, I can't do anything with that unless you tell me what it is you don't like about it. He said, you want to give people things for nothing, and I'm against that. So I said, were you born in America? He said, yes. You got the railway, the telephone, television, radio, all that for nothing, just being born here. You didn't work on it. Does that spoil you? He said, yeah, but I think if you give people things for nothing, it will kill incentive. So I said, I've got to ask you a personal question. Are you paying your way through college? He said, well, my dad is. Does that spoil you? There's enough for nothing. When a woman marries a wealthy guy, she's got servants, a new car, just by marrying a wealthy guy. She gets it for nothing. Nobody ever questions that. I said, I understand you. Your father is a rich guy. Kid says, yes, he is. When he dies, you want his money to go to the heart fund and the cancer fund, not to you, because you don't believe. He said, just a minute.
We don't want the Japanese killing whales. You know, and we kill chickens and cows because we eat them. See, and the Japanese eat fish. And they eat certain things we don't eat. So why shouldn't they kill the whales? Who are you to say don't kill the whales? Don't kill anything. Don't kill a fly, because they're here made by God. You're killing all God's creatures. You know, there's no way to deal with that subject.
Somebody says to me, are you a vegetarian? You know, you don't eat meat, or you eat only organic foods. I used to be a vegetarian, till I saw cancer on rabbits, which are vegetarians. I saw cancer on cows, and they found cancer on dinosaur bones. Now a guy, I don't know if you know this, we have labels we give animals, such as animal life and plant life. But there are certain plants that can convert sunlight to tissue. But when the sun isn't out, it behaves like an animal. It eats things, other plants and other animals. The Venus flytrap closes on insects. So a guy named Bose of the Bose Institute in India said, I don't know about vegetation. So he took a cucumber and he ran a needle into it. And the pain indicated 4 times more sensitive than any human being. A cucumber. And I used to think, well, the thing's a vegetable, it doesn't feel anything.
Some people would want or need drugs. Would it be made available to them?
Yes, it would.
It would?
Yeah.
Okay.
You will, if you, see, we show people smoking cigarettes, talking, but then we show the human lung, the real film, and it stretches. If you smoke a long time, it tears, and then cancer cells form. Then the guy chokes, he can't breathe. We show a guy dying, real, in a hospital, try to breathe. He's been smoking for 20 years. We don't say stop smoking. We show films of the results of a certain viewpoint. You understand? If you don't get it, you can still smoke if you want to. Okay, we don't order you not to smoke. If you try to do that, it'll go underground. People will smoke in the cellar. If you try to ban religion, it'll go underground.
don't ban anything. Well, the electrical grid supplies electrical energy for many different purposes. There'll be groups of people that will knock out one leg of a main tower and falls over and powers out from LA to San Francisco. The revolutionary types of the future will be intelligent people too. And a scientific advisory board is as developed as a culture. You understand? Conservative scientists seem to dominate in this kind of culture. Radical scientists, according to Goddard, you know who Goddard was, the American rocket scientist? He said, he wrote many times that you don't talk about rockets in scientific circles. You're looked upon as a radical, that it's impractical, dreamer. You understand? He wrote that. He always said that. When I go to scientific, I can't talk about it because they ridicule me. So, is there such a thing as a scientist? I don't believe so. I believe there are people that are scientifically oriented by their culture up to the limit of what their culture gives them. If they were scientific, they would immediately ask about the culture, how it operates. They don't even look at the highways as inefficient. They're commercial products, highways, automobiles. What the question is distribution of resources to people in the most efficient manner. That's the problem. So obviously, there's no such thing as a scientist from my point of view. You understand? A scientist would not be engaged in particle behavior while the Earth's falling apart. He would immediately turn his attention to protection of the environment. And when I said we don't have enough money to build antibodies for all the known diseases, but do we have enough resources? Scientists, yeah. Now what the hell are you dealing with raising funds for? Do you know what I mean? That's why I say I can't conceive of a scientist today. I don't say there are none. I haven't met any. Have you? Scientists that are social, that say the only problem is the insufficiency of our social design. That's what the problems are.
In regards to sports and football, and they feel that these things would be very difficult for people to grow out of, the competitive sports. And could you comment on the cultural issue of competition in sports and this mentality that everyone finds normal?
Peter, you can't outlaw sports. People are conditioned to it any more than you can outlaw religion.
Sure.
Or stealing, or drugs. Say no to drugs. That doesn't work. So you can't outlaw it. In ancient Rome, it was normal to feed Christians to lions, and families would go to see that. And then in Spain, you have bullfights. A lot of people here would be shocked by a bullfight. But in the future, sports is a way of filling in time. And entertainment is another thing, acting as a detractor from real events in the world. Soap operas are detractors that take your attention off real problems. Music and dancing would be considered detractors. In the future, you would have so many new options that you would never get involved in a nothingness field. Nothingness means fashion. There'll be healthy clothing designed for people that will breathe while you walk and cool off when it's hot. It'll help the body maintain optimal temperature. Shoes will breathe as you walk. They will not be designed by stylists or people that drape fabric around in different directions. These are totally detractive. They have nothing to do with a sane society. A sane society will design clothing that's comfortable and maintain materials that serve more than just cover the body.
And when people go to watch sports,